Hey everybody, Howard Crampton Jr. here on May 10th, I believe. It's a little after 11 o'clock in LA. Beautiful day outside, freezing cold in my house. That's why I have this sweater on. And this is the third time I'm actually recording this video. It's funny, every time I do this, it records longer. So really want to stay on track. I have three questions to give you guys. I have a client today at 2 o'clock. I was reviewing her notes and I just had this breakthrough I felt I really wanted to share with you. And it's part of a program I'm developing, and it's called Logos in Leadership. You might ask yourself, what is Logos? And Logos, as Viktor Frankl explains it, is meaning. What meaning do we give to life? Viktor Frankl wrote the book Man's Search for Meaning. He was a Jewish psychologist who was thrown into Nazi concentration camps and stayed there until the end of World War II. But he noticed about 1 in 25 people were actually surviving, and he asked himself the question, what meaning were they giving to be able to survive? What meaning can I give to my life to get through this concentration camp and really get my message out to the world to make sure this never happens again? And that's what I'm giving and offering to you. So I acknowledge everyone showing up and watching this, because if you are watching this, it's likely you're not just somebody who's here for entertainment purposes. You're watching it because you want some information, you want some resources to implement into your life so you can achieve your goals with efficiency, right? Eliminating the mistakes that other people have eliminated and maybe asking some of the empowering questions people have asked to succeed. So, number one question is, what meanings do you give to life? The second question I'm going to ask is, what challenges are you currently experiencing and what meanings are you giving to them? The number three question is, what do I really want? So, what is logos? Logos, again, is meaning. In Greek philosophy, it was also the word. In biblical terms, the word in the beginning, it was the word. Um, and it's the gap between where we are and where we want to go, the gap between man and the divine. And it's this space in between that we ultimately fill with meaning. So think about some times in the past where you really succeeded. Everybody's succeeded at something, or you wouldn't be where you're at today watching this video. You're either homeless or dead, maybe somewhere else in between too. But if you're watching this video, it's likely that there are areas you have succeeded. Maybe it was getting through and graduating sixth grade or junior high school, or maybe even high school. What meaning did you give to that experience? You might ask or tell yourself, well, my parents pushed me to go, but you wanted to live up to your parents' expectations. You knew that getting an F was bad. You knew that getting an A, B, C, maybe a D plus, right, was passing grades for you. And so you did what you could to get through school, and you worked at that. Some people may have dropped out, and I'm not saying that that's bad. I understand circumstances along a lot of times don't permit us to even finish high school, so we have to drop out of school. We have to get a job because we have to. It's survival mode, right? We have ourselves to look after. We might have a family even by the time we are in high school to look after. So, what was it for you? Why did you quit school and get a job? And why did you succeed for a certain amount of time until you hit another spot? Um, there's the fork in the road, right? Two choices you have. You get from point A to point B, and you can say, great, I got to this point, what's next? Or you're going to say, wow, is this really what life is all about? I got to where I needed to go, and you get content, and you think this is what life is really about. And it's not. It's so much more than that. And what happens a lot of times, people get stuck there. Viktor Frankl calls it the existential vacuum. What does a vacuum do? It's this energy force that sucks in material things into this space, and they move around while it's active, but eventually it settles down and it sits in this space. And that's what he talks about with existence, human existence. And in a vacuum, we get sucked into this space, we become content, and we think that this is all life is, and we just sit in this space without doing anything more, just these patterns over and over and over and over again. So to get out of that existential vacuum is, what meaning am I giving to my current circumstances, which is the second question. What challenges are you currently experiencing, and what meanings are you giving to those experiences? Um, Challenges or perceived limitations, right? Napoleon Hill said that the only limitations are the ones that we acknowledge in life. So, what are your challenges? Are they burdens or are they blessings? Are they empowering or are they disempowering? Because whatever label you give, whatever meaning you cast upon that experience is what's going to be real for you. Reality is only a projection of your experiences from the past up until now. Okay, perception in itself is not reality. Perception is projection. And whatever you project onto experience, onto reality, that's what will be reality for you. Again, you can give it a bunch of different meanings, but be careful. Deepak Chopra says that we get stuck, we get trapped in the knowing, because once we label an experience, that's what it becomes for us. Once we make a decision, we cut off every other possibility for it to be something else, which we need to make decisions and we need to know certain things at certain times. But is it a blessing for you? Is it moving you forward or backwards? So that's what you can take into account. What labels am I giving to my experiences? More importantly, what labels am I giving to my challenges that I'm experiencing? And are they moving me forward, these meanings, or are they keeping me back from succeeding? Embrace that uncertainty. Continue your search. It's so important to continue searching. As long as you're continuing to search, you're giving meaning to life. But once you give that label, if it's moving you forward, eventually you will continue to search. But if it's disempowering, you don't. You accept it for what it is, and you think this is the best that life is going to be. Albert Einstein gives a quote that I love to travel, but I hate to arrive. Why do you think that is? He loves to travel from point A to point B. There's a lot of meanings that we can give to that experience. Once we get to point B, we got there. Now we have that experience. A lot of times we don't give any more meaning to it. So, what will be that next point? What is point C to you? If you go from LA to Paris, you got to Paris. So you just get there and stay in a hotel room and maybe eat dinner? No, I want to go sightseeing. Maybe I want to learn a couple new words in the language. Whatever it is for you, find meaning. And the third question is, what do I really want? So I have three questions I want to give to you, to three empowering questions to really give more meaning into your life, into your experiences. So that first question, number one, write it down. Who am I? We are much more than our behaviors. Okay. Um, Aristotle, I think, said we are what we repeatedly do. Well, I want to elaborate. We are not only what we repeatedly do, we are much more than our behaviors. For example, who I am. Howard is a loving, compassionate, nurturing, understanding man. And my passion is in helping people, guiding you to achieving your goals, to creating lasting fulfillment, to finding the meanings that you're giving to experience, and to give more empowering meanings to that experience. Okay. I have limiting patterns that I run myself. I have experiences where I feel sad. I'm not going to label that as depressed. I'm going to feel sad. Great. Well, what am I getting out of sad? How can this work for me? Right. And start to think, uh, how can I use sadness as a tool to get to where I want to be? Well, I don't want to feel sad. I understand that it's natural to feel sad, but I don't want to feel sad for too long. So I think, well, how long do I want to feel sad for? What can I focus on instead? Sadness is more of a trigger for me to start focusing on everything that I do have, the abundance in my life. So I'm starting to digress. I apologize. So, one, who am I? List all the things who you are: nurturing, compassionate, loving, courageous, powerful, empowering, lots of things. The second question is, what do I really want? Identify the things in life that you really want, but be careful if between them being a means and them being an end. Okay? Immanuel Kant, a psychologist or philosopher, he wrote about the kingdom of ends, meaning that we must not only see humanity as a means, but also as an end in itself. And let me explain really quick without getting too off track, because I'm going over my time limit here. A means is a vehicle to get from where you want, or from where you are to where you want to go. That's the means. If you want a family is a means to an end. What is it that the family gives you? Is it somebody who you become? Is it a certain feeling that you get from having a family? You want the big house and you want the nice cars. That's a means to an end. That drives you to get a certain feeling, to develop a certain personality characteristic or a trait, right? So what is it that you really want? Go ahead and list all those material things, but go back and identify what it is that those things give you. What is the end result? And the last question is, who can support me in achieving these goals? Psychology has done a great job in embracing this biopsychosocial theory. I mean, biologically, we're influenced. Genetically, our chromosomes, we have certain traits and characteristics from our past generations in life, right? But we also influence our biology through how we think, how we feel, and ultimately how we speak. When you say certain words, you influence your nervous system, your biology. So, biologically, how are you setting up your environment? Psychologically, are you mentally healthy? Are you prepared to meet with challenges, to meet with rejection in life? If you're psychologically healthy, you get a rejection, you're excited. Yes, I'm one step closer to getting that yes, or getting to where I want to go, instead of feeling disempowered and taken advantage of, or whatever meaning, again, that you give to that. So being mentally prepared, psychologically healthy to get through perceived limitations. And last is your social environment. Are you looking to make $1 million? If you are you living in a house with party animals, people who are drinking and doing a lot of other things? You can still succeed, but you might not succeed as fast as if you were living in a house, or putting yourself in an environment with other people who are setting goals and achieving them, talking and sharing ideas, and creating events to get where they want to go. So biological, psychological, and socially, uh, how can you set up those aspects to really succeed your environments to help you get to where you are, to where you want to go? So thank you for watching this video. I'm going to end it now. Please feel free to leave a comment below. Go to my website, howardcramptonjr.com. You can email me at howard@howardcramptonjr.com and share with me your results that you created from this. Find me on Facebook, Howard Crampton Jr., and I look forward to connecting with you all more in the future. Namaste and cheers.